I really enjoyed this book. I wasn't even aware that he had written a book until such time as Bushwick had brought it to my attention. I really enjoyed it very much. Steve Martin, I mean, his first album became like the monster comedy hit. The same year I graduated high school in 1977. I know some of you are like, "You baby," and others are like, "You old man." So I'm kind of right in the middle. But it was just as part of the soundtrack of my teenage years as Fleetwood Mac and Foreigner and those folks. It was very, very popular. And as I was reading this book and he's going over some of the routines that he would do in his early years, I'm like, I can completely hear his voice doing these because they're right off the record. So it was a lot of fun. I almost had the soundtrack running in my head. One of the episodes that he tells, which was when he was still on the road, before he became super famous, he would go to these small towns and play these clubs and maybe a couple hundred people. And toward the end of the act, he'd gather up the whole crowd, but like this, and then move everybody outside and down the street to a local diner, burger place, and walk in with this crowd, this drunken mob, come in and order 300 burgers. And then just as things were getting a little sketchy, he'd say, "Wait a minute, I'd like to change my order. I'd like one French fry." And I thought that to me was something, because later on he would go on about how one of his biggest regrets about getting super popular was that he couldn't do acts like that anymore. Because 15,000 people, the local, it just wouldn't work anymore. So there were a lot of little subtle gags that would operate beautifully in a small club, but once he got super popular, he just had to shelve them basically for the rest of his comedy career, and I thought that was really sad. But it seemed to me that there was one thing that represented that turn in his career, and that was that one French fry. So this song is from the point of view of that very important French fry. You're laughing now. Oh, and I'd like to thank the gentleman who played an actual banjo beforehand, beautifully, I might add. This is not a real banjo, just saying. It's a banjitar, so it's like, so it kind of sounds like a banjo, not really. It was late on a warm Nashville evening, back in '75. I was saltily basking in the glow of a heat lamp, waiting for my moment to die. Now the life of a tuber is naturally short. We're grown, we're sliced up, and we're fried. But this amazing night would be unlike the others. My existence would become justified. The crew was preparing for a closing when out of the corner of my eye, a well-dressed man in white and a multitude behind him came piling in, loud, rowdy, and high. He said, "I'd like 300 burgers, 86 of them medium rare, 210 with extra mustard, 104 with no onion." So debonair he stood there, just like a millionaire. The manager was utterly dumbfounded. A look of panic came to his eye. "No, wait," said the man, "I want to change my order. Make that one French fry. One French fry. One French fry." Held up to the sky, glorified by passers-by, undeniably deified. should have done this in a different key. I can't whistle. So now you came, what now? Let me start that again. No, now you know what you came here to hear. I symbolize the turning point in his career. Well, soon his audiences exploded. Tens of thousands soon applauded this wacky man, his banjo and his funny ears. His success was completely justified. But sometimes I just can't help but think that I think I deserve some of the credit that made this man a star. Simply can't be denied. For this funny man, I gave up my life. I don't think anyone could blame me because I took the chance for a tater to become a sainted martyr. On the altar of comedy, you could say I was crucified. One French fry, one French fry. Come on, everybody! Held up to the sky, glorified by passers-by, undeniably deified. Hey, one French fry, one French fry. Complaints about this song I'll not dignify. One French